Welcome to Journey Through the Gate, your paranormal portal podcast, as we delve into the many questions and wonders brought on by the supernatural experience. What's on the other side of the gate? Let's find out together. Here I am. Hello, all you beautiful people out there. Let me adjust this cam just right. Let's see. Let's get the castle walls straight. They're kind of getting a little wobbly. Maybe need to shear those up a little bit. How's everybody doing? It's wonderful to see y'all in here tonight. We got Chris Jarvis. Hey, Chris. How you doing, darling? We've got Ann, AJK, Salvador. Hi, hon. How you doing? Linda. Let me see who else we've got. You guys are just already having a blast in here. Sir Brian Bowden. Hello, Sir Bry. How you doing? Sasha Bell, Glenn, Grey Wolf, Maraid, my beautiful mermaid darling. Blue Crossroads. How you doing? Gray. Hey, darling. Glenn. Everybody in here tonight. If I have missed anyone, Ann, how are you? If I've missed anyone, Uncommon Belief, all my wonderful mods. Okay, you guys know the deal. My wonderful mods have the wrenches ready because we only want positive, good energy in here tonight, and I'll tell you why. We all know that we need as many different things as we can get, whether it's, black tourmaline with big old honking door knockers, my mom used to call them, cocktail rings, like, what do you think of my new ring? She used to do like this. Miss Got Rocks. Well, we've got rocks, but they're gemstones. We've got a lot of people in here that really understand gemstones better than I do. I make lovely jewelry with them, and I will learn about a gemstone if somebody needs that. Hi, Jose. Welcome in, honey. If somebody needs that in their life, like, rose quartz, a stone of love, or amethyst, like this one here. See that one there? You can't really see the pretty purple. Nice big old honker. There she is. For warding off negativity, communication with the spirit world. Then you can start bringing in herbs. All different lavender, dried lavender in your pocket. We've heard, haven't we, Grey Wolf Paranormal, going into investigations, and having that in your pockets will help you communicate better. Where does this stuff come from? All these things from Earth, from the Creator, as we say, basically is here to help us. Here to help us. From the plants to the air we breathe to the communication that we have with those plants, in grounding, tree huggers, right? All of that stuff, it's all true. Burning sage. Where's my sage? Right here. Here we go. Right here. Burning sage and sweetgrass and Palo Alto. We've got this right here. Everything has a meaning. These are buzzard feathers mixed with red-tailed hawk. I made it myself. I cleaned it myself. It's a long story. It was kind of an initiation. But I did it. I did it barefoot in a skirt. You bet I did. And I made several sage fans with it. So everybody's got their thing. Some people it's music. Everybody, some people get in their car and they'll turn up classical music or a harder driving music to get those feelings out. Everybody's got something. Gardening, cooking, crafts, artist. So many things. Working on a car. Those things that help us debrief from our day, that help us get rid of the negative and bring positive back in. Guitar playing, absolutely, Blue. Music, huge. Okay? So tonight I brought somebody in that can talk a little bit about that. Okay? We're going to talk a little bit about frequencies and energy and healing, plant connection, energy connection. I've got people that I'm talking to right now in my daily life, and I tell them about, listen, if you don't want to connect into somebody's energy, don't read the text. Don't answer the message. Don't pick up the phone, because you've already given permission to accept that energy into your life. So tonight we're going to teach you how to block it, rebuke it, and throw it out. So I have brought in a friend of mine. Now, She comes into where I work, and it's always wonderful and sunny when she does, and I always have a big smile on my face, and she looks at me, and we both smile no matter what's going on in the day. But there's a little bit more to that smile when we meet, because usually when she's popping in, she's been called there and she followed the energy, because sure enough, somebody in that shop just had an issue with maybe spiritual warfare. Again, you guys might not call it spiritual warfare, but man, if you're happy 1 second, bam, something happens to knock you off your feet and put you into a negative spot. Spiritual warfare. Or we'll have somebody come into the shop that needs a little advice or a little lift. She'll walk in the door. So tonight she's walking through the gate with us, and she's going to take us on a journey into searching out that positive energy and how to keep a good run in front of that devil. Right, Pamela? Come on in, Pam.
Hi, Cisco. Thank you so much for inviting me tonight.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun. Go ahead.
I'm really excited to be here, and I thank you for this opportunity.
Thanks for being here.
Oh yeah, no, actually, this journey started for me before I knew the journey started for me. And I'm just explain that a little bit. When I was very young, I didn't realize my connection with source energy, and I got shut down by my parents, mostly my mom. We would drive over a dead animal in the road, and I would feel the energy go right through my body.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
So we are called sensitives. We are very sensitive to energies. And a lot of these energies are here, and they need to be changed. So, and a lot of times, like what I tell my clients when they come over, if somebody stands in front of you and yells at you, you feel that goes right in your heart, right? You just bought that like you bought a sweater, right? You own it now. It's yours. Well, what I help people to do is get to a point where they don't have to own that anymore, that they are so solid in themselves that they know who they really truly are energetically to clear it. So they become like a higher frequency. We kind of, in tarot, it would be like the high priestess energy. So if you have anybody who does tarot in here, that high priestess energy, she has control of the dark and the light, and she knows when to use it. So that's what I try to teach people, is I'm going to show you how to get to that energy where no matter who's standing in front of you could say anything and it won't go into your being.
Right.
That, and even if you do experience it, it comes in, like if a boss yells at you or somebody, you always want to ask, is this mine? Is this mine? Is this mine? Is this mine? If it's not yours, it's going to lift out of your body and return to sender. Oh, sorry, you probably heard that.
Okay.
Return to sender. So that's feelings. Okay.
Stop right there a second. Let's focus on that for the chat. Everybody, did you get that? Is this mine? We have so many empaths, so many sensitives in here, so many people drawn to this. That's the first thing you ask. Is this my feeling? You have to understand what your base is first, don't you, Pam?
98% of the time, it's not yours. You've just taken it in because your body, you came in clear, you came in clean. We've just, all this stuff has been accumulated inside of us. And we're looking right now to release all of that energy so that we can become like we were with little children again, so that we can live this happy, fulfilled life.
There you go.
But all of this stuff that's been projected onto us, we've taken it and we now own it. It's like peeling the layers back on an onion. And as we peel the layers back on the onion, we become clear again, right? So this is where your feelings are held at. Your thoughts are here. They're different spots. They're different chakras, or chakras, as some people will say. So here, with your thoughts, there's something that you're totally probably not aware of. There's a law of nature that actually will let you know when the negative thoughts come flying in your head. Do you know it's a law of nature that they come flying in? I had to read, if you could pull that book up, Outwitting the Devil.
Sure, absolutely. Slideshow chat. You know how much you love my slideshows. All right, wait a minute. I had to skip through. Hang on 1 second. Let me start at the beginning so I'm not messing you all up here. My people are so used to this, Pam, so just don't worry about a thing. Okay, so there's our cover art. There's a little Mr. Crispy. He sends his love and good energy your way to this chat and all you wonderful gatekeepers in there. I call them gatekeepers because they're learning, and we learn from each other, and we go out and we try to help others along the way, and they also basically stand at this gate and walk everybody through and try to help them through the conversation. It's great. So they're already, they're ready to hear. Is this yours, or do you want me to go to the next one, to the book?
The book. I'm going to show the book right now.
Sure, honey. There you go.
This book, I had this book for 2 years before I read it because I couldn't deal with the energy of it being the devil. If this said Outwitting the Darkness, I probably would have read it a long time ago. So this book was written in 1938, but it wasn't published until 2011. The Napoleon Hill family would not allow it to be given out because he was channeling what he considered to be the devil's energy. This book will tell you how to get out of the darkness. I have read it and listened to it so many times. You can listen to it free on YouTube. If I'm allowed to say that, am I allowed to say that?
You can say whatever you want on my show.
So it is available to you.
I'll just cut it out later, Pam. I'm joking, baby. I'm joking. Go ahead.
So I had to read this book and listen to it so many times because I am extremely dense when it comes to a lot of this spiritual stuff. But there's something that I want everyone to really know because this was very important with your thoughts. So when an individual does not use the brain for the expression of positive creative thoughts, nature comes in and fills the vacuum and forces the brain to act upon negative thoughts.
Wow.
There can be no idleness in the brain. If you understand this principle, you'll come into a new and important understanding of the part that environmental influence takes in the lives of human beings.
Wow. Wow, that's huge.
It's huge, absolutely huge.
That's huge.
Nobody knows
So it's basically
it.
filling a void. So if you fill your brain with positive thoughts, the negative can't get through, can't get in.
That's absolutely correct.
That's amazing. And it's so simple, but you know what, Pam? A lot of this stuff is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is. Are you ready for another slide, or are you good?
I'm good for the moment.
Okay. That is so amazing. So say it again, the void. Say that part again.
When you're not having positive creative thoughts, nature fills the vacuum by forcing your brain to act upon negative thoughts. I must have had at least 17 voices talking in my head at one time. I don't have that anymore. They were my own thoughts coming in from mass consciousness, like not even from people around me. This was mass consciousness. These thoughts are coming in, and you're picking it up based on your frequency of where you are, right? And the minute you're at a higher frequency, you no longer match with that. So there's that one slide in there that shows the truth and falsehood, and maybe we can go to that right at the moment.
You can. We spare no expense here. Journey through the gate. Let me get my production. Was it this one? You tell me when to stop. This one. Okay.
It's a little big for me here, but if you can look this up on Google Images.
Okay.
This one is basically any of the levels under falsehood. If you look at the login, if you look at the log on the chart where it's between level and emotions, those are frequency levels. This is Dr. Hawkins. He actually came up with this.
Okay.
And if you look at the bottom part of it, the bottom part is all darkness. So most people, when they come here, I have them fill this out and I have them circle the bottom.
Okay.
And so there's fear, grief, anxiety, humiliation, blame, despair. All of these are usually ones that people circle when they come and get a session with me.
Wow.
I have them circle the bottom part because I need to show them how to get back up into the light.
Oh, I love that.
When I was talking about the frequencies, if they're matching the levels of falsehood, I just need to get them to levels of truth so that they can get out of the negative energy. Right? So I'll bring them up into the levels of truth, which is 200 and above. And we do that through empowerment, affirmations. You got to trust. You absolutely have to trust. If you're going through something that's really, really hard for you right at the moment, if you can kind of give that up and give it to source energy and just release it from yourself, release the fear, release the grief, release the apathy, the anxiety. Most people are suffering with anxiety right now. If I can assist them to get them out of that anxiety with a session or anything, just by getting their mind quiet. When I get them, because I teach first, and then I'll do their tarot card reading, and then I'll get them on the table and do a session. But I just need to get them up to empowerment. If I can get them empowered in some way to tell me, where do you want to go in your life? What do you want to do? What makes you the happiest? If you can tell me what you love to do, I can show you how to get there. I can get
Perfect.
you on the track to get to that, because when you are in your joy, and joy is at a 540, even if you're sitting in any kind of joy, keep going to that joy. If there's something that you love to do,
Right.
do it as much as you can. That's going to keep you in the light. And when you're in the light, you're going to get your answers from source energy. What I was shown by Spirit is they can't go below the line of truth. Now think about this for a minute. They can't step below that line because that belongs to the darkness. Right? Yin and yang,
So much
dark
sense.
and light.
So much
They
sense.
can't go below that line to get you, but they told me that if you just come above that line with some positive affirmations, we can grab your hand and pull you up, but we are not allowed to come down in the darkness and grit you out. You have to make the effort.
That's why they say so many people look to the light. Now I can affirm this from the connections from those on the other side that go in and help those who are stuck in that kind of an in-between, that, you know, everybody says purgatory and it sounds so awful, and I'm, you know, in a lot of ways I'm sure it is, but it's just basically they're almost on what Pam is saying, almost this line where so many have said after, all I had to do was look, just think light and look up. That's all I had to do. And you might hear a version of it, you know, people reaching up, you know, to pull you out of a drowning man. You can put whatever you want. The truth remains the same. Your free will, your intent, and your reach. Right, Pam?
Yes, absolutely. The quickest way to get there is to go do something nice for somebody else.
There you go. Happens every time. It's so good.
Always brings you right up there. I don't care if it's just cleaning a yard for them or doing something, taking out the trash, anything.
Opening the door to Wawa. It's instant. You feel it. You feel that
absolutely.
instant, that little, just a little cross section of that energy. And that's why I did that, the video, the cover art the way I did, because this right here, if you're looking at the two energies melding together, and in the center you're reaching, you're deciding every minute of every day what energy you are going to be resonating in that day. Right, Pam?
Who's your master, the dark or the light?
There you go.
You get to choose every day, every second,
Every
anytime. Anytime. Even if, you know, I think we're going to talk about a little bit about music. I'll throw that in there right at this moment.
Sure, go right ahead.
If you're going to listen to music that is kind of depressing, we'll just say depressing, it's going to put you in a depressing mood. And if you listen to music that's happy, you know, even Don't Worry, Be Happy, I play that for my friends sometimes, or the Justin Timberlake one from the Trolls, you know, whatever it is. A lot of times that music will help you get up there. So basically, if you're going to just try to get yourself into somewhere, I see somebody, Grey Wolf, you just posted that you have trouble keeping your frequency. It's
There you go.
you struggle. I can see it with others, but I struggle with my own frequency. So the interesting thing about that is that I have been taught how to go inside, and I haven't figured out how to explain it to other people. But when I sit in meditation, I go inside myself. And when I go inside, everything changes inside me. There's a grace of energy that's placed upon my body that brings me up into that higher frequency. I've had so many experiences with spirit. I have had other healings done on myself that I should be dead already, but I've healed myself many times. So, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So when we
Wounds make the warrior, baby.
I had
Wounds
such
make the warrior.
of course, because if you're getting ready to die, you have to choose: do I want to die or do I want to live? And at that given moment, when you make that choice, is when everything changes for you, because now you're on a different path, and they see that, right? So when they see you wanting when your soul sees you wanting to live, when your soul sees you wanting to have good things in your life, you can feel it in your body. You know, all us empaths, and I know there's a lot of them out there. A lot of you out there are empaths, and you're connected to spirit, source energy. Listen, I know a lot of times it's not easy. I have had so many entities come and sit in my body. I know when they come and sit with me.
Oh, and they leave their negative and their residual energy behind, and it's so you have to get it. It's I keep preaching, sister. I got you.
I don't have too much of that.
Yeah, just get it out. You just have, but you have to take care of it right away. It's not something. So for our paranormal investigators and stuff like that, it's crucial before you get back in the car, before you get back in the vehicle, and once you step foot out of the threshold of whatever you were investigating, come together again as a group. Past the excitement of what you saw and what you EVPs and things like that you got, and do a residual energy cleanse. Get that off, right, Pam? Get it all off. Don't take that home.
Well, they come in my home, so they're always here.
Yeah, I know you. Yeah.
I've had them just come and sit with me, just like on the Whoopi Goldberg thing. A lot of times I know when they come in, I know when they exit. I know when energies are upon me, I know when energies are leaving. That's how sensitive I am. So a lot of you out there, when you have your ups and downs and you can't control your energy flow, it's probably because you're not sensitive enough, or you're not knowing that you've attached to something. Right? Even just walking.
Or you're caught up. Because you're
Yes.
excited, you're in a group, you're checking equipment. I mean, this is a crucial time. We're talking about paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
It could be at the office. It could be from the energy
Absolutely.
vampire sitting next to you. Or you're in the break room and you're trying to just be you in your space, and you're trying to ward off this energy. You're exhausted trying to ward it off. Go sit outside on the bench if you can. Sit in your car. Play some good music. Like we said before, music is extremely uplifting. We have a lot of musicians in here too. Blue Crossroads and so many in here are saying that music is so uplifting. Linda's saying Cajun music is, what did you say, something else? Very happy and uplifting, happy stuff. Exactly. Somebody's saying stuck in the middle with you, AJK. You know, that's it. I did, Jeremiah was a bullfrog to ward off energy I felt coming, and it displaced it. It just dispersed. It wouldn't get near it.
Well, because
amazing.
the darkness can't exist in the higher frequency.
I
That's
know,
the
it's
whole
so
point.
simple. It's so simple. Everybody makes it so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple.
It is. And I have a lot of people who have entities on them when they come here. And the entity knows immediately it can't stay in the environment here because the frequency is so high. And the people are just like, it's just leaving their bodies. It's just amazing, like, you know, what happens.
Oh, honey. And it's so, And we're going to give them something tonight, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Because the frequencies. Now,
Yes.
talk to me a little bit, because we touched on it with the lower frequency vibrations. Be kind, it asked here. And I'm sorry, honey. It went by so fast. It was such a great comment. It was about, well, if you bear with me just a minute, because I think
Sure.
everybody bears to hear this. She was saying about the grief and holding back connection to loved ones. And does grief and sorrow and missing and all those things, yes, it does block it. And that's why they say give time for their spirit to go through what they're going through, and your spirit to acclimate to, you know, to the entire life-changing thing you just went through, losing a loved one, whether it be a pet or a friend or, you know, whatever. And nobody can tell you how long to grieve. But Pamela is very good at walking you through it and letting go the little pieces, almost like blowing a dandelion when you've got the seed and you blow and you close your eyes and you blow and they all scatter. And that's what you're doing. I mean, I had to do that with so many loved ones that passed with me. And until I could let go of the anger, you know, all the things they say you go through, you know, the 5 things, the denial and, you know, all of that, the bargaining, I did all of it until I finally hit my knees and just said, "Poof," you know, it's not about me, it's about you. Go. Because, you know, you can hold it back. Tell us a little bit about that.
So basically, if you can get into the higher frequencies, and I was a letter carrier with the United States Postal Service for 33 years, and I did have one of my patrons came out one time, and her daughter had just died in a car accident, and she's like, "But Pam, I can't feel her. I can't feel her." I'm like, "Yeah, you're not going to feel her. If you're in a lower frequency, you do not have the connection with them unless you move up into the higher frequencies." And when you move in the higher frequencies, you have clarity, and then you can have that connection with them. You can feel them. I feel people sit on my bed. I feel people standing next to me. You can't get that when you're in negative energy. It's not going to come through. When you're in the higher frequencies and you understand what death is and how to counteract that, because they can never leave you. They're always going to be with you. And when you understand that there is no death, right? There's just a changing of energy. It's the same thing with, let's just say you have ice outside, and ice melts and it becomes water, and then it evaporates, and then it goes into the sky, and then it comes back down as rain, and it starts its process all over again. That's kind of what happens with us. We keep having re-embodiment coming back. And the reason that we have the re-embodiment is for the process of the evolution that we are going to have right now. We are in a point in our life right now where we are moving into another dimension. And we, as light workers, are here to take this a little further than what we have ever taken it before. So when you can move into the higher frequencies, you have a greater connection with source energy. You have a greater connection with the paranormal. You can have and see more. You won't be in fear around it. Okay. So things that are happening to you are happening for you. And when you're having this happen for you, you have to have an honoring around it. You're experiencing these things to create a higher frequency for yourself. And that's the process of evolution that we're going through right now to get into fifth dimension and above and above. So when we move into the fifth dimension and above, that's where the promised land is. Right now we're in 3D, moving past the 4D. 4D, I believe, is time and space, and we're moving past that into the interdimensional realms.
And so many of you, not to cut you up, but so many people in this chat, and so many people that they have in their lives, because we are drawn to the like-minded in the paranormal, supernatural, mystery, the whole thing, our inquisitive minds wanting to know more. I feel more. I know. I understand more. I want to understand even more. It's an ascension of your consciousness. Now, so many people right now are getting downloads while they sleep. So many people are seeing more, and they're just looking, and they're noticing that some people are just almost zombifying through their day. You know, we've got these screen zombies that are just walking. We've all seen the TikTok videos where they're walking and they fall into the hole, or they fall into the open door, or walk into traffic, or fall into a fountain. And it's funny on TikTok, but it's not really in real life. We've seen it through generations. We've watched in my lifetime people going from spending the whole day farming and growing food, or going to gather this and spending time with multiple family members in the same property, to 50 years later, it's like you haven't seen grandma in a couple of years because she's off in a home somewhere because it was easier, and your kids are going to daycare because you have to work 3 jobs just to pay the bills. Yes. It's a different kind of zombie, and we can help get you back in just like this, Pam, in some cases, when you know the secrets, right?
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
fast. And you might have to do it 10 times a day. On some days, you might have to do it 20 times a day. I had a little meditation. It was an Archangel Michael cord cutting, high frequency. It was the whole shebang. It was like, the salad bar. I took a scoop of everything. In one little 7-minute meditation, I used to go in the bathroom door at work and just put my headphones in, lock the door, and just sit there until I didn't feel like, just, I'll say it, killing people with my teeth. I mean, it's just like, because the world just pressure. And then you come out. And I remember one time I did it. I come out the bathroom door and I was feeling all good, and I'm coming down the aisle, and here comes this one energy vampire person. I went right back in and put the headphones back on. This is no more. But frequencies. Now tell us a little bit about the hertz and the frequency angel meditations. We hear all about that. What can you tell us about that? Because we have a little gift for you guys tonight.
Yes. First, I would like to explain something that happens when
Please
you're
do.
in meditation. We
Please do.
really, the trick here is to really to quiet the mind. And when you can get, and I know some people are saying, oh my God, I could never quiet my mind. I used to have 17 voices talking in my head at one time. I don't have any of that any longer. It's just me. It's just me, no voices. Just moving forward as not as swiftly as I would like, but I am doing it gracefully and with ease. And in the process of doing that, I have learned to raise my frequency through many different things. The first thing that I tell people is don't use paper plates anymore and don't use plastic cups. I'm like, get your good china out, get your good crystal out. Even if you only do it for yourself and you don't do it for anybody else in the family, you're raising your frequency. Watching shows that are of a higher frequency, creating, getting flowers on a weekly basis raises your frequency. Bringing something that is absolutely fantastic into your life raises your frequency. The music that you play in your home raises your frequency, and you can keep that music on when you're not even home, is going to maintain that frequency in your
Yes.
home. So you want to create a space where you have, when you come home, there is just peace and tranquility, always. And when you sit in meditation, when you start to quiet your mind, you may have to be able to put on your headphones and just constantly, even while I was sleeping, I was looping a meditation.
Yes.
The more that I looped that meditation for myself, one night it happened. The light went on inside my head, pituitary and pineal, boom. Everything in the room became nothing but light.
Amazing.
And when that happens to you, there is a transformation that you will never, ever, ever be able to explain or let anybody feel, because it's something that you personally have with your own higher self. So as you raise your frequency, you just really, you're listening to other things other than what your mind has been trained to. And I tell everybody, remember when you were in grammar school, you know, in your third, fourth grade, you're learning the 9 times tables. How long did it take you to learn the 9 times tables? A long time, unless you know the shortcut. There are many shortcuts. How long does it take you to train a dog, a puppy? You bring home a puppy, and it takes you a long time to train the puppy. You can't try meditation once. See, if you look on the chart again, we'll look at it a little bit later. Intention is above the line.
There it is, Gray. There it is, Gray. And so many people in this chat were always saying intent, 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 intent. Yes, absolutely.
Intention is 9/10 of the law. What you are seeking is seeking you. So I can kind of give you an example of that through science. So basically, you have these scientists that tell you coffee is not good for you, right? So they're going to go out and they're going to prove that coffee is no good for you. And they find the scientific proof that coffee is no good for them. Then we have another scientist 2 years down the road that says coffee is good for you. And they're going to go out and do the science, and they're going to find out that coffee is good for you. Because what they're seeking is what they're going to find. Their intention was to find something good in the coffee. The other scientists wanted to find something bad in the coffee. So they're going to find whatever they're looking for, because spirit always abides and gives you what you're looking for.
Again, that easy. Did you hear what
Yes.
she just said? I'm going to be doing that all night long, that easy, because I want to get it in your head by the time we're done tonight that it's that easy. I'm seeing, you know, and I'm not taking away from anybody's struggle here. Don't get me wrong. You know, everybody's got chronic pain. There's a way through that. You know, in some cases you can't get it all, but you could absolutely drastically, I mean, 80%. And to some people, that's a miracle. There's so much you can do, but I'm going to do it through the whole program that easy, because I want you to understand it's not hard. Laughter isn't hard. A joke isn't hard. Don't you gravitate toward that person that's always telling jokes, even if they're silly, you know, that you can laugh about little things. You gravitate towards that person because your soul craves it. Your soul craves that higher frequency because we're used to vibrating that source. Yeah. And we're here in this lower vibrational realm, this prison planet pretty much that we've reincarnated to. We chose it. Don't blame nobody but yourself, I'm telling you. And because we were heroes over there, and now we're going, what did I get myself into? But we have the answers, don't we, Pam?
We do. And there's something, if you are in physical pain, what I do with somebody in physical pain is I will teach them this. So if there are those of you out there that are in physical pain, I want you to right now just sit for a moment and think of a time when you had joy in your life. So sit and think of a vacation you went on, someone you were sitting with that you had a very memorable time with. And just really, I want you to focus in your mind and replay that other, whatever it was that made you feel really good. I want you to replay that in your mind just for a couple of seconds here. And I want you to check your body. Check your body and feel your pain. Because when you're thinking of something else, you're not focused on the pain. And then wherever the pain is, I usually tell the clients, focus on your right toe, as long as that's not where the pain is. Your right big toe, focus on your right big toe. When you take the focus off where the pain is, the pain subsides for a little bit. Right?
Beautiful.
So it's reprogramming your mind not to focus on the pain, because whatever you focus on, you're drawing more to you. Right? So if
More energy.
I'm actually having trouble with my left leg right at the moment for something that I did. And it's about me moving forward in life. So when you're in pain, think of something else. Try to go somewhere else. Get your mind off the pain. Because it can heal itself if you take your mind off of it instead of recreating it constantly over and over again.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, I had an enlarged heart, and I had to get rid of my enlarged heart. I went to the chiropractor after I had just had an accident. I was on my way to his office, and he goes, "Oh my God, Pam, you have the biggest heart I've ever seen." I go, "Yeah, no, I don't. I know, Doc." He looked at me. He goes, "No,
No,
He
really?
says, you
No,
need to
really?
you need to go to a cardiologist right away." And
Yep.
I told him, "Oh, heck no, I'm not going." I said, because I will be put on drugs for the rest of my life. I said, I'm going to heal this myself. And so I did. And I started with the meditation because I decided now I wanted to live. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to do this. So I started focusing on what I wanted instead of what I didn't want. So I did not go to the cardiologist. I actually went into meditation. And one night when I was doing self-Reiki, I actually was in this meditation, and all of a sudden, in my mind's eye, I see my chest cavity opens up like a big crater on the moon. And then a big giant white ball of light came and sat in the crater, and a blanket of energy laid over my body. And that was my first real healing that I had from spirit.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Wow. I've seen it. We've got it all through. I mean, from handshakers in
Yeah.
Native American culture to you name it. Every culture has got this, and it's basically just focus, Reiki, all the energy manipulation, everything. But I want you guys to understand that in this busy world of ours, in this thing, I'm seeing all these comments, Pam. It's like I felt better when I stopped watching the news. Absolutely, cut it off. There's frequencies. That's
Yeah.
played on the fear frequency. They
Yep.
want you scared. They want you fear. Rebuke it. Turn on something else. Find a different way to get your news. Talk to an alternative news, or get with somebody who gets the news and repeats it without being an alarmist and a crazy
Yes.
person about it, and just gives you facts. Find a different way to do it, but don't watch the news and certain it's in the music, it's in TV shows, it's have you seen Netflix lately? All of these different things is feeding that fear frequency. You got to hit and go to the higher frequency, right, Pam?
I
That's
have not.
where laughter, joy, all of it.
Yeah. I have not watched TV in probably 12 or 14 years.
Yep.
Does not go on. I may
I
watch a movie, but I don't watch TV.
I could tell that thing came on if I was in another room as part of the house, because I could feel it before I could hear it.
Yeah.
It's an absolute truth. And are you ready for the little meditation? Do you want to tell them anything else before we do this? This is going to be so good, guys.
Okay, so what I would like to do is I'm going to do a little bit of pre-meditation energy
Okay.
before. First of all, I'd like everybody to take their hands and just put their hands right like this and see if they can feel the energy between their hands. You could kind of bounce it. You can kind of see it and feel it.
Bouncing really helps. It's just
Yes.
imagine it right there in your palms.
Yep. You might have to get closer to feel it first. It may take some time for you to do it. You can make giant balls of energy or whatever. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to shut your eyes. And I want you to take your left hand and point it down to the earth. And I want you to take your right hand and point it towards the heavens. And I want you to feel inside your body the energy from the heavens coming down through your crown, through the center of your body, all the way down and connecting with the earth, all the way to the center of the earth. And I want to see that energy wrapping itself around the center of the earth and coming back up through the bottom of your feet, up through your body, straight up out your crown, all the way to the center of the universe. Now I want you to see that energy coming back from the center of the universe with its return journey into your body, into your crown. Now take a deep breath. And now you can put your hands down and just relax your body. And as she's going to play this video, this meditation, I'd like you to continually, you can keep your eyes closed or you can look at the video and just keep relaxing your body. The more relaxed you can get your body, the better connection you're going to have with source energy.
Here we go. And for all of you that have a hard time meditating, this is like fire gazing. Just look at the center and listen to this beautiful 852 hertz. Here is your source frequency. How cool is that?
Anybody
that
feel any
beautiful?
different?
Ooh.
Yeah, more relaxed, more calm. Just by having that frequency in your home, things are going to be different. You'll start seeing more. You'll start feeling more. It's all about relaxation. There's no mistake that the yogis used to sit in, quiet time all the time, because the more that you can relax your body, the more that you're going to allow source energy to come in. So it's not even letting source energy in. What's been shown to me is the part of you that animates your body is your source, is your spirit, is your soul. Because if you look at a deceased body, it doesn't have any longer the aspect of movement. That is a part of your soul, the part of you that makes you move, right? So it's part of spirit. So when that part of you leaves the body, it goes back to source energy, and you get ready to plan your return journey to come in. This is my belief. This is what's been shown to me. I don't believe that you come here once. I can't believe, I know since I was 9 years old, I was standing in my backyard and I looked up at the sky and I said to God, you can't tell me that you expect me to experience anyone on this planet to experience everything in one lifetime.
Can't do it.
There's no way that in 70, 80 years that I could do everything that you've given us here on this beautiful planet. There can't be one lifetime. No way.
And every feeling, every emotion, what your emotion caused another emotion in somebody else. You have to feel both of those so you can better understand how to deal with that emotion. It's extremely simplistic and very complicated all at the same time. A lot of people are saying that they could feel that. And though I wanted to tell them before we move on, it's 852 hertz, okay? Now what this is it directly connects you to the principle of light, as well as using this frequency to cleanse trapped negative energy and dissolve fear. Use it to overcome overthinking and worries, connecting with your higher self, and to awaken your inner strength and your intuition. Who wouldn't be listening to this frequency?
Right.
We need this so much right now. That was 1 minute and 27 seconds. I made that little video using wonderful music that you can find hours of, so you can play it on a loop, like Pam is saying, with headphones while you sleep. It's just the music. There's nothing else. And it is in Power Thoughts Meditation Club. I'll say it again. Power Thoughts Meditation Club on YouTube for free. And you want to get the 852 hertz. There you go. All right, go back to you, sweetie.
I'm just going to clarify. If you don't resonate with the 852, there are thousands of them on there. Find the one that resonates with you. It is really kind of important to keep that energy and that frequency high inside yourself. So I don't know why. I'm just getting a message right now. I don't know who needs to hear this or not, but
go ahead.
There are shadow energies in you that are creating a lot of the darkness that you're experiencing. I have witnessed many of these shadows leaving my body as I transcended and moved into the higher frequency, because the lower frequency vibrations that are in your body cannot stay as you raise your frequency up. And they have to vacate your body. So grief is at a frequency. Anger is at a frequency. Hatred's at a frequency. Humiliation is at a frequency.
Yes.
As you maintain your frequency, those shadow energies can no longer reside in your body, and they will have to leave. But because you keep maintaining that frequency and dropping, it's like you're going back and forth on a seesaw. You can't maintain it. We just want to get you to maintain. As you maintain, a lot of these energies drop out of your auric field. Do you have the auric field?
Yes.
One there?
I do. I believe it is this one right there.
Okay. So this is your human auric field. And I want to start at the outermost layers, which are the spiritual layers. And we have 4 basic layers that we really work with: spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. They also correlate with the tarot cards. Spiritual's the wands, mental's the swords, emotional's the cups, and pentacles is the physical body. So, and they also correlate also with your signs, Aries, tarot, Taurus, and all of them. So we're clearing 4 different paths of mastery here when you clear your auric field. If you don't start with the spiritual layer, you're going to lose everything. Mostly what happens if you have mental or emotional problems or a broken arm, even, we go to the physical body. which is the most dense part. That's where all the sensations are experienced. If you have a broken arm, the doctor does not heal the broken arm. The doctor sets the arm and you heal it yourself. The challenge here is that we always try to heal the physical body, but we don't deal with the underlying aspects of it. Well, you may think they're mental and emotional, but they're not. It starts with the spiritual layer. If you can understand the reason that you're here on earth, you're here for a spiritual reason. You came here to experience this, and we are trying to create heaven on earth. We are trying to bring our higher bodies into this body to create heaven on earth. And in order to do that, we have to get rid of all of these other mental and emotional and physical things that we have. So when a challenge comes up, when chaos comes up, you have to understand that it's happening for a spiritual reason. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you.
Yep.
When you understand that this chaos that is coming in order for you to experience something new. Yeah, go back to the mental illness one first.
This one right here?
No, the one where they're on the cartoon.
Okay, here we go. There it is. I love it.
So, do any of your relatives suffer from mental illness? No, they all seem to enjoy it.
There it is.
Mine as well.
Yeah, me too.
If you can understand first and foremost that we came here for a spiritual reason. You didn't come here for the mental and the emotional and the physical, because that's not what you are. You're a spirit trying to live in a human body. But in order for us to live in this human body that is created from this earth, we have to release the darkness from the body in order to become a clear vessel for source to work through us. And in the process of doing that, we are remembering who we were and what we came here for. But we can't do that without getting rid of the darkness. And when you start stepping into more of the light and living in the light, that's when things really start to get good for you. And when you start to really understand this. So the way that it was shown to me is if you were to take your body and make it in the shape of a Coke bottle and put a pin in the bottom of it and let all the darkness drain out, you will be a clear vessel for source to work through you. And when you become that clear vessel, your higher being actually comes in and takes dominion over what is the lower frequencies. And as that happens, the two become one, and there's a mantle that's brought together, which creates heaven on earth. And the way that they showed this to me was because the Ascended Masters, which is Babaji, Paramahansa Yogananda, Jesus, and any other Ascended Masters, they were able to take their body with them into the next dimension. We haven't been able to do that. We have to keep having disembodiment, embodiment.
Makes so much sense.
And what was told to me was that we haven't figured it out yet. And when we can figure it out, that we can clear the body of these lower frequencies and become the light and create the light body, we can then also move into the next dimension, which is what we're trying to do. But we have to get out of the lower frequencies to be able to do that. When you step into those higher frequencies, your whole world changes. Where do you see all the stuff that is brought to you that is goodness? You will be tested along the way. You will have mental testing. You will have emotional testing. You will have physical testing.
Absolutely.
You have to master all of the 4 quadrants. Spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. And what that means is that when you have mental thoughts, you have to understand what they are to get the darkness out. When you have emotional thoughts, you have to understand that to lift that and get that out, to become more user-friendly with your vehicle. Now, most of you probably on this call drive a car, but you're not your car. Your body is just the vehicle that you're using to get around in.
So true.
And it comes with the darkness. So we're just cleaning out our cars in order to have more light. And as our inner and outer become one, they match. And that's what it means to become an Ascended Master. But you have to master all 4 of those elements, which are all part of the earth, which is what you're going to get into next when you talk about the plants.
Absolutely. And
So,
this I loved, absolutely loved this, the lessons learned.
yeah.
Somebody told me once, I think it was a Pentecostal pastor who was just amazing. He was just wonderful. I just love all the different people that are involved in these spiritual journeys,
Hmm.
and they all have a piece of wisdom. Like I always say here, wisdom is not
Yep.
found in one place. And he said to me, be careful praying for patience, because the universe is going to give you ways to practice that.
Absolutely,
That's
totally.
how it works. There it is.
And they give you so many chances because it all comes in layers. And as you
Absolutely.
start peeling back the layers, it gets easier and easier. People always say to me, but it happened again. I
Mm-hmm.
said, because there's still small little aspects that you haven't cleared yet. And as you clear those aspects, you will no longer, what happens is you move into a more mature being, which we're moving beyond the Christ consciousness and into what's called the 44. We haven't even created it yet because it's never been here on the planet.
Good question from Be Kind here for you, Pam. How do you know if you've mastered the lessons?
Because they no longer show up. And if they do show up, you are healed from them and they don't affect you mentally, emotionally, or physically. I still have a big one that I'm working on. I was a train wreck. You guys have no idea. You have no idea. I could have been on Jerry Springer's show. I tell everybody that. And my friends
Yep.
are like, there's no way, Pam, that you. I was like, oh my
Yep.
God, I was the drama queen of everything. I was the victim in
The
everything.
victim. Oh my gosh.
I was the worst victim you could ever have on the planet.
The misery, the
Why
walking
did this
miseries.
happen to
Oh,
me? I don't deserve this.
the
Blah blah blah.
negative, the drain, the
And
drain.
and I
Oh.
just kept pulling more and more of it into me, right? Because it's all negativity. More coming in, all coming in order for me to understand who I am, what I came to Earth for, and what I need to do. And if I don't get it this time, I'm going to have to come back and do it again.
Right,
This is the
right.
most important lifetime that we are ever going to have.
Ever, ever. And
Ever.
so many people here have reincarnated by choice, free will, to come here at this time to keep the lights burning.
That's right.
To keep the lights on. We're here to keep the lights on, and we're just trying to teach you how to keep those lights and the energy in those lights so you can keep them on. And that's basically what it is. I think we make it so hard. We have to understand everything about tarot to get a reading where we get something solid from it for ourselves, instead of learning about the person, reading the cards, learning about and listening in between what they're saying, where the connections are. We tend to take someone like a famous psychic or something like that and focus on the one they got wrong instead of the thousands upon thousands they got correct. Society has trained us to focus on the negative, to focus on if it bleeds, it leads, if it's fear, it's here. And that's what we have to get out of.
Absolutely.
We have to keep the lights on. Do you want to tell a little bit about the plants? We have a nice video here. I explained to Pam that we love to go back and dig into the old television shows, 76, 80. There was so much wisdom out there, even in the 60s, some of them. And we all love these shows like In Search of and Unsolved Mysteries. They taught us so much. And if we don't go back and grab some of these and share, they're lost. And I found this one, and I thought it would be wonderful to bring a little In Search of way back television when Pam was on. And it happens to be about energy and plants. And what do you want to talk about with that? The energy's everywhere. We're connected.
Plants hold frequency. Plants sing. You may not know that. And it's interesting that you brought this up because my grandparents used to have a nursery. And I would work with the plants all the time.
Wonderful.
I didn't even tell you that.
No, you didn't.
So, no, I didn't.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so I was always around plants my entire life, but they have done studies, scientific studies about plants that they can actually play music. And in this video that we're getting ready to watch, you can see where they've recorded how live these plants actually are and the energy that they are actually emitting to the planet. And that you can talk to your plants. And if you talk to your plants will grow better. And if you don't talk to your plants kindly, they will die.
Yep.
Okay? And there's another experiment that I hope I remember to talk about when we get done here. If I forget, somebody please remind us about the rice experiment.
The rice experiment, mods. Everybody grab a hold of that. It's RICE, right? Just like rice?
Yep, absolutely. Dr. Emoto.
There we go. We're going to talk about that too. Now, this video is about 7 minutes long. It's worth watching all the way through. It's our wonderful friend, Leonard Nimoy. It first aired in 1976, and it was In Search of Energies, and I think you're going to really love it. If you do need to get up and get some water or something, Pam, I know you can listen. It's not a problem. Everybody just be comfortable and enjoy. Here we go. Go ahead.
Actually, I want to tell you also. Oh, we already got off.
Second. Go ahead.
Plants actually have auras too. You can see their auras. So try that too. All right.
And Edna says she's got two plants in the bathtub getting a good soak.
Oh, good.
That's wonderful. But they, we give to them and they give back, as well as so much on this earth it does. Look at the gemstones. Yeah. Look at the, nature all around us, the birds. You feed the birds, they sing to you. You get to experience all that energy. I once had a total stranger, lived in my neighborhood, on the other side, never met him. You meet a lot at your neighbor's door in a yard sale or something like that. We have a community yard sale, and he comes through and he goes, "Oh, you're the one where all the birds are coming from." And I said, "Well, how did you know?" He didn't go in my backyard. I have feeders all in the backyard and all on the side and the front. And he says, "I don't need to see it. I can feel it." Best compliment I ever had in my whole life about my home. I can feel it before he ever got there. So there you go. That's kind of getting in that fourth dimension where you're not seeing that 3D anymore that they want you to see. The 3D that lives in this, the two-dimensional is even worse, but the 3D that they want us to stay in, that's wrapped in fear and everything else. It's almost like they don't want you to see the sun anymore. Somebody in here said, "I need the sun." So that little clip that we played earlier, look at that, because it is meant to have that kind of light. And that's why also the fire gazing and stuff works too, right, Pam? Something to focus on. So here we go. Enjoy Wayback TV with our friend Leonard Nimoy and In Search of.
The sound can only be described as otherworldly. But the source is as commonplace as the ground we walk on, the air we breathe. The sound comes from plants, through sensitive electronic devices which translate fluctuations of energy. Some call it a voice. Whatever it is, it raises the astonishing possibility that plants can communicate. If plants can communicate, what are they saying? To whom or what are they talking? And how can we communicate with them?
The green thumbs among us have always known there was more to growing things than the right alchemy of soil, water, and sunshine. They seem to have some special communion with plants, an ability to make them thrive. The so-called brown thumbs don't seem to be able to do that. Yet they sometimes laugh when the green thumbs talk lovingly to their plants. Now we have a startling new concept that these simple life forms have been listening, and are listening still.
No room decor is considered complete these days unless it includes something green and living. It may just be a fad, or the urban dweller's minor rebellion at too much steel and concrete. Or the roots may be deeper, touching something forgotten in many of us. Whatever it is, plants are big business, and trained minds are beginning to pay attention to a mysterious new aspect of the green world around us. The Denver Botanical Garden provides a unique environment for plants. Music played a major role in an experiment with green life, which startled the scientific community. The experiment led to the astonishing conclusion that plants have perceptions not unlike human senses, and that they respond dramatically to certain sounds. Dorothy Retalic's passion is music. After raising her family, she returned to college to complete her degree in that subject. She also studied biology, and a sympathetic teacher allowed her to combine her two interests in one project. Mrs. Retallick had always felt an affinity for plants. They were as much a part of her world as music. Mrs. Retallick theorized that in subtle ways, plants might share her sensitivity to sound. Harsh music had always bothered Mrs. Retallick. Could it be that plants also preferred one sound to another? The experiment she devised to test her question has been duplicated many times, almost always with the same remarkable results. Mrs. Retallick created two distinct environments for her test plants. Water levels were kept the same in both. Temperature and lighting were identical. Only one element was different. Semi-classical music was played into one, hard rock into the other. In the chamber with soft music, the plants leaned toward the speaker, seeming to draw strength from the melodious sounds.
Incredible. I find that incredible.
In the chamber with rock music, the plants shrank away and eventually died. Time-lapse photography represents the reactions of the plants over several days. The results are unmistakable. Test conditions could only mean that it was the quality of the music, not the volume, that determined the reaction of the plants.
The plants, it seems to me, are trying to tell us something.
If plants hear, how do they hear? Certainly there's nothing in the plant world like the human ear and mind, but perhaps there's something else. A way of hearing that doesn't involve receiving and interpreting sound waves. What we call a sound wave is merely one form of energy, but scientists know that energy takes many forms.
Kendall Johnson is a specialist in Kirlian photography, a technique for making the invisible visible.
Kirlian photography is the popular name for maybe what is better known as electrical photography. Think about putting a leaf on a piece of film, lay the film on the dresser, the table in your house, and sneak up on the little leaf and spark it. And when you develop the film in the normal way, what results is an image on the film that looks very much like the leaf.
Through the work of Kendall Johnson and others, a new world has been opened for exploration. Perhaps the aura captured photographically is the force others say they have felt with their hands, recognized in their mind's eye. It works both ways. The finger of someone noted for skill and sensitivity with plants has a bright aura. The finger of a person who's had little success with plants represents a marked contrast. Maybe having a green thumb or a brown thumb means more than anyone realized, that a touch can convey as much information as volumes of words.
You know I was going to throw a little something in there. So what do you all think of that? Just think of the difference between the green thumb, someone who has a lot of success with plants and, you know, that connection, and the brown thumb and just the aura and the energy off the fingers. So imagine, if you will, anyone who's listening that quite hasn't got it through their head yet, that what Pam and I both said, I have an analogy too of going to the airport and going to baggage claim. And you've got your luggage, I've got my whole set of non-matching Samsonite with the broken wheel and the duct tape and the rope and the stickers on it. I know what's my baggage. Just because somebody else takes their baggage and puts it down in front of you does not mean you have to pick it up. You have to give permission for that energy to come into your space. So answering the phone when you know it's that negative person from work that's just going to bring you down, or that relative that you can't quite make understand, whatever. You have to go through the whole negative thing of her day and this and yada, 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 yada. Does it make you feel better or does it make you feel worse? Make choices. Right, Pam?
That's absolutely correct. And you can get to a point where you're so clear that anybody could stand in front of you and say anything and it will never affect your body again or your mind. But
There
it's
you go.
just a matter of stepping into that mastery.
Yeah.
So there's 3 movies that I would recommend for
good.
everyone to look at. Number 1 is the Celestine Prophecy, because we're
Yes.
coming right off of this, because they show you how that energy works and how you can get to the point where you can see the energy. The other one is Defending Your Life with Alan Brooks and Meryl Streep. It shows what happens when you cross over and what you go through. And then the other one is the movie The Shack.
Yes.
If you're going to watch The Shack, you got to have tissues and and chocolates with you. But it actually shows pretty much everything that I teach and what I've learned myself about judgment and other things as well. And I want to go through the rice experiment first before I go any further.
Absolutely.
So the rice experiment was Dr. Emoto, and most of you might know Dr. Emoto as doing water droplets and freezing them. And it's the same thing with the rice experiment. Every one of you can try this at home. We've done it as well. So you cook the rice and put it in jars. You can find this on YouTube as well. They tell you how to do it. And you label the jars that you put it in. One says hate, one says love. The other one you just totally ignore. And you can make as many of these as you want to. And it's kind of the same thing as what they did with the plants. But you talk negative to the one that you say hate. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Watch what happens to the rice. The other one you say, I love you, I adore you, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me, and you're going to see what happens to that rice. And the one that you totally ignore, something else is going to happen. So as you're doing this, you're going to see the experiment of how powerful your words are. So when you actually are speaking words, they hold a frequency. Every word that you speak, every thought that you think holds a frequency. You want to speak the highest speaking coming out of you, the highest vibration that you possibly can. Your thoughts, you have to understand. I always tell my kids, you used to be afraid around November because of that guy that comes in December and leaves all those beautiful presents. I said, but there's another power inside of you that's even greater than that. And you're talking to it every day. And when you're talking to yourself, your genie, the energy that's inside of you, the source of you, is creating everything that you're thinking and speaking. Everything that you say to yourself is actually emanating and sending out a frequency that is on its return journey to you. So when you say things, even like, I hate myself, or, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that, or whatever, you're now drawing negative energy to you. You're like, if you've done something that you're not so proud of, oh my goodness, wow, okay, why did I do that? At least you're leaving it open to question, right? Which gives you another opportunity to accept something else, as opposed to saying
That's
something
so
bad
good.
about yourself.
That's so good. Instead of saying, I shouldn't have done it, or why did I do that? Stop a second and give your brain another chance to think of something else rather than just condemning yourself automatically because you made a choice. Why did it, also, you could do like, what caused that? Where was I when I took that hard left, in my mind that made me go that direction? I was
Sure.
doing so well. And sometimes those things are actually spiritual attacks. Absolutely spiritual attacks. You know, little things, it's almost like we're playthings that other things play with, other energies that, you know, work through us just to. It's almost like we're pinballs and there's flippers and we don't have control of them, and we're banging off of the, you know, the rubber bumpers of one thing and it lights all up, and it was like, oh my gosh, you know, there went my tire, or, you know, the oil, the pan broke, now it's $250 or whatever, and gas prices are insane, and how am I going to do this, and how am I going to, instead of, why am I getting, you know, no fear, let's rationalize. Can I carpool with somebody? Can we look back to things that are proven to, you know, did somebody, you know, try this? Did we ever go through, you know, a hard time before? What did our grandparents do? You know, they obviously lived through it. There's wisdom there. Find a solution instead of a critical thought about yourself, because we're just humans learning, and we're just energy. Like Pam said, you're not your car. You're just driving in your car. We're the heart and soul of the car that's working with mechanical things to propel us to a different place. That's what we do with our bodies. And it's so easy to forget. And we're just giving you a couple of tools along the way and showing you that it really does work. You saw the plants. Listen to the rice experiment. Gray had a question about the rice. Should they be far apart?
They'll tell you on the video when you
There you
watch
go.
it online. It'll tell you what to, you know, how far to put them apart, and one of them you're just going to completely ignore and put someplace where you're not even going to pay any attention to it. But you do want to separate them a little, because you can have, you know, the energies get shifted back and forth, but they don't have to be that far apart from what I remember.
Right.
It is an
See,
amazing experiment.
you don't want your hate too close to your love, because
That's
as you're
right.
giving
Yeah.
giving all the love to your love rice, you don't want the hate rice getting a contact buzz.
Exactly. And we
There
do
you
that
go.
with our own body too. If you want to think about how many times we talk about other people, right? That
Sure.
energy has to reverberate through your body before you send it out to the other person.
And it also goes out into the universe.
Yes,
I mean,
and
people do not
for-
get it. You know, we keep thinking that magic and voodoo and Wiccan and Native American cultures and, you know, other cultures around the world, that they're all separate. It's not. They're all the same. They're just manipulating and working with the same energy
That's
that
correct.
we all work with. It's
That's
just
right.
different ways.
It's all based on your intention. When you speak your words, you have an intention for the
And
words
it's a spell.
usually.
That's why it's called
Absolutely,
spelling.
Yes, I just posted
why
that
it's
on
called
my
spelling.
I just posted that on my Facebook page the other day.
I used to
actually.
watch my teachers.
Yeah.
I was such a cheeky little monkey. I knew a little thing. I knew a few things because I was into, you know, the paranormal supernatural. So and when I saw my teacher writing on the blackboard with the chalk, I would always think, it was like, man, she's spelling. You know what I mean? The way it looks like you're writing the spell, and you know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And I mean,
We-
I was caught on to that. Words can be curses.
Yes.
I mean, oh gosh, don't get me started on Hollywood and the Hollywood used for the wands and how it's programming. And you think I'm joking? All this is connected, right, Pam? It's all connected.
It is, but so is all the programming we got from our parents, our grandparents, our teachers, and everybody else. Even our religion. It's all programming, right? So, you know, basically, as you're walking this path, what we're doing now is we're undoing everything that's been done already.
So true, Blue. So true. It is. It's all in the tools and how you use them. He's being funny, but you know, he's not wrong. The thing is life is magic. Yes, Linda. Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
yes.
it's all
Absolutely.
magic. It's so magical. If you don't think it's magical, watching that butterfly land on that leaf of the sunflower in the ray of the sun, and you get to see that. You get to experience that. That's a memory forever in your mind. And all Pam is sitting here saying, if we're choosing our thoughts, why don't we choose better? Why don't we choose what goes in better? If that's what we need at the time, we can't escape it all the time. But the more you pull back and to everybody military out there, it's just like let's just stop and regroup.
Yeah, reprogram.
Yeah, and reprogram your head.
reprogram.
Don't let them do it for you.
Right.
Rebuke that and say, I'm going to program myself. I can
That's right.
see from this dimension, my conscious is here. I'm going to stay above that line. And I'm going to stay in that line because this is where I can also get help from the light. I can see the light from down here. I can
Sure.
see the light, and I miss the light, and it's cold and it's dark and I don't like it here. But I look up and I can see the light, and for sure enough, you know how to get there. We're giving you tools, right?
Yeah. And forgiveness is another one. Forgiveness
yeah.
is never for the other person.
It's for you.
Forgiveness is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people get tripped up on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to forgive them. They're not suffering. You are.
That's it. You came together for that lesson, that chaos
right.
lesson. This one right here, remember this? Look at this. Remember this one? The universe will give you a chance to practice mastery. Okay? Again and again and again. That is why chaos and patterns repeat in our daily lives. Say that again. Patterns repeat in our daily lives. If you're continuously having something happen, I had to do this where I go, what am I supposed to learn from this?
Yeah.
Whoa. I'm not going to do the same thing again. That didn't work the other 87 times I did it. So this time I'm going to try this. And if you look at it and if you realize, biggest thing that ever helped me, Pam, was when a really fantastic medium, wonderfully gifted person, told me that my mother was coming through to tell me, take the damn hat off. We know you have the tools, but this isn't yours to fix. Those are your tools. Sit on the toolbox, take the hat off, and just let others do their journey.
That's right.
And love them through it.
That's right.
And love the ones that came into your journey and caused the chaos and caused the misery and caused the pain. I know it sounds crazy because you chose it over there when you all agreed to do it on the other side, when you knew what you were doing and you were excited about it. And if you don't believe that, tell me something else that makes more sense.
So the chaos comes in
So
to force you to evolve.
Yeah.
And not only that, you're letting go of generational lifetimes of patternings. If you look back in your family, and that's why they say the
Lord, yes.
alcoholic is the alcoholic is the alcoholic. It
Lord,
carries
yes.
down through the family until somebody
The circle.
raises their hand and says, I'm gonna
Stop
heal
it.
this. Right here.
Break the cycle. Break the cycle.
Absolutely.
Right
Absolutely.
here, it stops with me. Buck stops here. Cycle stops here. The
You-
abuse, the worry, the gambling, the whatever it is, it's something.
Yep.
Pull back away from it. Change it. You have the power. That's why you came here to do it. At the same
That's
time,
right.
keeping the lights on. Don't let other people come turn your light off. It's like somebody. Imagine you're standing there and you're like one of those old-fashioned. You stand up lamp poles. You know what I mean? We used to have them when I was a kid, and have the ugly pleated shade on it, and standing next to the big chair, and it had the chain.
Yeah.
Somebody, so you're yanking my chain. No, but don't yank my chain. Don't turn my light off, because other
Right.
people will come in and turn your light off if you let them.
If you let them. And that's a
you let them.
test. That's a test too to see if you've really learned the lessons or not. Right? So listen, all of you out there that may be struggling with whatever you're struggling with, you are here to heal generational curses within your family lineage. And you
Amen.
have chosen to come and do this. You don't understand how powerful you are. Who's got chills running through them right now?
So true.
You came here to do this because you are the one. You are the one who is here to save
I am
you
the
and
one.
your world.
I'm the one.
You are absolutely the one. I never thought that I could do it, but I have handled and dealt with so much. I can't tell you the things that I have gone through. We don't have a lifetime to do that. And the people that I used to judge for hurting me, and when Spirit gave me, oh, honey, they didn't come to hurt you. They came here to play a
Strengthen
part
you.
for you. They played that part for you to heal it. And I was
Yes.
like, oh, really? I'm like, and I
Flip
cried.
that.
I bawled my eyes out
Yes.
that day.
It's
I
a flip.
absolutely did.
Gosh, when you see that it's that flip, when you see, when I could look at my alcoholic father who left multiple, my dad, boy, Hey, I don't know what we did over there, and I don't know what we said over there, and I don't know. I could honestly picture my dad's soul and my soul sitting on, because we'd probably understand out of the whole family, because we probably would have got it. And we're probably sitting on a log on the other side, smoking a cigar, having maybe some nice Scotch whiskey on the rocks, because I know my dad, I would have drank it for him that once. And we would have sat there and like, you're going to be a real bastard, right? Because you got to do it good this time.
That's right.
I mean, just, full tilt boogie. You're going to be the one that, married 7 times, not pay any alimony. Don't you do it. Don't you pay any alimony. You make those women struggle. You make those kids hate you. And I mean, to the point of all of his kids are in the living room. We found out he died in Greece. And I've got people on their knees screaming. I mean, it was a holy, unholy mess. I swear to God. I don't know why I'm telling you this story, but here it is. All these people are sitting, and one's mad because she'll never be able to spit on his grave. The next one is I mean, this is real life. So angry, and I'm standing in this whirlwind of chaos, and I'm going, nice job, Dad. I mean, it's like, I mean, it's just unbelievable when you see it differently. Mm-hmm. And it's almost impossible not to hate somebody like that.
Right.
To see how it made your mother cry that she had no money and no alimony and had to go out there and hack it out of the wilderness, so to speak, and fight in the 70s to be a single mom in heels, doing it in a dress in a man's world, and handled it. Yeah. My sisters grew up, my brothers grew up against great adversity and became wonderful human beings. Had more wonderful human beings. Did we break the cycle? Was he here to be that kind of a person so we could choose whether or not to break the cycle? Wounds make warriors. Wounds make warriors. Now, don't go out and just, throw yourself on a pitchfork, because the universe is going to do that for you. But how you react to it, that's up to you. That belongs to you.
Yeah, you own that. Yeah. And that's the other thing that I'll say there, because we're talking about that, is my father had a stroke in 1993. He was 53 years old, and he was 3 days after Easter, and he was in the hospital till Father's Day was like his last day. And I was the first one up to the hospital that day, and he had a stroke. He couldn't speak correctly. He only retired 7 months before this. So he had 7 months of retirement before he died. But his words to me on that day, and I was the only one there to hear it, he couldn't speak correctly, but boy, did those words come out right that morning. He said, Pam, where is everybody? I'm dying. I saw the light. And I was the only one that heard it, because it was only meant for me. Nobody else would have believed
Some
me.
things just are meant for you, because those are the little moments that give you that push when you're just, I can't go on any further. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, because you came here to carry that light. I mean, I got taken to my knees. I was chilling, walking along, and all of a sudden I walked down my very own hallway, my very own home, and a little tiny thing happened. It just, whoosh, it was like a spiritual slap in the face. And I was standing there my ears were ringing. I don't know what in the heck or why. I mean, literally, it was like a humming. It was like an inane drone in my head. And I'm like, I see it. I was almost outside of myself. It was so weird because it happened so fast, to where I was like, how did that happen? What just took me off at the knees there? It took me a minute to come back, but I knew what it took to come back. So you're going to get that, because it's just as long. It's almost like these, I just want to say minions. You can call them whatever you want, that might be a little negative evildoers that run around, or it might be something that you need. I don't know. Sometimes you have to hit the tree. I can't explain it. But it's almost like you're walking down whistling like a cartoon, right? And all of a sudden they just stick their foot out and trip you. Yeah. And then just kind of laugh. What are you going to do now? It's up to us to get back up and get back into whistling and skipping again and shaking it off. That's life.
Well, now when the chaos comes in, I now have awareness around it, right? So when you have awareness around something is the only time that you can change it. So as you're having this awareness around something, I want you to understand you have the power to choose whatever you want in those moments. So I would love for you, when chaos comes in, say, oh my goodness, what is this showing me?
Okay.
What do I need
Perfect.
to learn from this? And how can I transcend it? How can I get in my highest frequency and my highest vibration in order for me to get my answers? Because when the chaos comes in, if you go into darkness, you cannot get the answers. You can only get the answers in the light.
Get
They
them
can't
now.
they can't cross the line. You
Get 'em
can't
now.
get the answers. Absolutely.
It would be a perfect assignment for everybody here tonight to get 3 things that you can keep in your spiritual back pocket, that when these things come at you, because you don't realize, you kind of see it, the more you do it, the faster you start seeing it. You're like,
Yeah.
recognized you right away, you son of a gun. And you can kind of like, whoa. And you can do what I did and run off into that bathroom and just, okay, go out there. You're like bouncing when you come out. I'm telling you. That little meditation that I made for you guys, the full website, the Power Thoughts and Meditation Club YouTube, go pull one of those up. Have it in your young ones know what how to put it on playlists and stuff like that, but have it to where you can pull it up if you need it. Maybe it's a song or a cassette tape in the player. I don't know, we still have cassette tapes in the cars. I don't know. What do you people have in the new tech?
Oh,
have it
plug
on
in.
ready so you can hit that track and just play that song that pulls you out.
Sure.
Sing a song. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Blue, for you it might be something else, but Blue, what's your song to pull you out? Pulls you out every single time. He's a musician. Like, some of you, it might be an old classic. Like when I hear Let It Be, I'm not even a huge Beatle fan, but it's the song, it's the chords, it's the melody, it's the progression and the cadence of it, and it's the memory that if I think about it when I'm listening to it, I'm like 9 years old, barefoot, walking down a hot sidewalk in the summer, listening to the transistor radio, and I can just almost smell the scents from that time, and music and things like that all take us back. So get 3 of those. Pam, what would you pick?
Actually, Spirit's giving me something else right at the moment that I
Go
need.
ahead,
Somebody
say it.
out there needs this.
Okay.
If you go to bed at night and you're in fear, okay,
Oh.
the biggest thing is to get you out of that fear. Call upon the archangels to be in the 4 corners of your room.
There you go.
And when you call on them, know that they're there. And then you're going to feel this grace of energy after you do it a couple of times, or whoever you want to call upon to come in your room. You will feel this grace. It happens to me if I go and I stay in a Airbnb or something. Boom, they have to be there because spirits come right in for me. They're like all over me.
Ooh,
I
man, I just got big chills. Really, woo! It's like something just ran through here. I swear, it was funny, but it's good. It was good.
That's your confirmation of what I'm telling you, because you
It's
have
good.
to. If I go someplace like Gettysburg, or I go down to North Carolina to see my daughter, they
Yeah,
don't let
buddy.
me. They don't let me sleep. If I go to Lilydale, I don't know if you know where Lilydale is in New York.
Yes.
I've been there. I've several visitations when I've been there. It's just, you just really want to, do whatever you have to make yourself get out of fear. Fear is the worst thing that you could ever carry with you. When you're in fear, you have to call on your help. Whatever your help is, call upon that. Whatever
your
you
spirit
need.
guide, your
Your
higher
spirit
self,
guides, higher self.
your past loved ones and friends who are on the other
Ancestors.
side.
Yep.
And your ancestors. Absolutely, you can call on. Believe it or not, if you're near plants and flowers like that. How many times have you heard get your hands in the dirt?
Yep.
How many times have you heard hug a tree? How
Yep.
many times have you done those things and felt better? I've got a couple of people in here saying too that they can't meditate. And again,
I couldn't either.
Stop thinking about that and do that 1 minute in the 852 hertz, which is that. This whole, I'm telling you, this is the frequency that helps you dissolve fear. It's almost instantaneous when you listen to it and you just let your ears hear it, and maybe even imagine it vibrating. We're mostly water, so when we hear sound, our whole bodies vibrate, our inner core, everything, our blood that pumps through our veins. So you're vibrating that.
Yeah.
So maybe try to focus on that, or maybe just listening for the sound of your own heartbeat or your breath going in your nose and out your mouth, and just let that frequency get in your ears. That's a minute 27 seconds. You could do it in a car.
I want to clarify, be careful with meditating in a car, but
Not while driving.
I
I'm like
want
in a parking lot. I meant park.
I want to clarify. I want to clarify what meditation is. Meditation. Take whatever you think meditation is and create what meditation is for you. Meditation for you can be going to sleep. I used to put the headphones on and play the meditation. I could not listen to it until I got rid of the voices in my head. I can't do guided meditations. I just need to listen to a higher frequency music because I was in so much fear, I had to get out of it. And the only way that I could get out of it was to continually reprogram my mind for a higher frequency. And until those voices stopped coming in my head, because I was living in fear, I couldn't change anything. You have to get out of fear and get a practice, just like going to the gym, just like anything else. You have to train your brain.
Absolutely.
And to get out of the negative. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all, got a little bit of my daughter from North Carolina.
Yeah. Before you say it, hang on. Look what Ann put. Wait a minute. I missed it. I put it right here. Oh, here it is. It was Be Kind. I already texted my son tonight to play the 852 hertz music for his unborn son. How beautiful. I used to put the headphones right on the belly. So be careful, because they hear everything. Do they not?
Oh,
Go
yes,
ahead,
they
darling.
do.
Go ahead with your next thought. I'm sorry. I had to throw that in.
So I have to remember where I was.
I'm so sorry. I know that's the hard part about live.
Right.
You know?
So basically, oh gosh, where was I? Can somebody tell me?
we in the chat. We were talking about breathing and listening. You're saying you wanted to tell about what meditation really is. You know, because everybody has a different idea.
Everybody should have a different idea, because what works for you is not going to work for the next person.
Exactly.
You have to find what works for you. And I used to always think, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Right? Negative. So I'm pulling more of that to me, right?
You're already cursing yourself ahead of time if you say you can't.
Exactly.
That's true. It's a spell. Remember, it's spelling.
What I did was I found what worked for me. Right? So I don't have those voices in my head anymore because of that book, Outwitting the Devil. Do you realize that out of 100 people, only 2 are going to succeed? Only 2 people can get out of the darkness out of 100.
Look at that.
2 out of every 100 people will make it out of the darkness.
You're going to be one of them?
I
How
am.
about that?
I hope the rest of us can join.
Absolutely.
And I would listen whenever I would go into chaos. I would go to that book almost like a Bible, because I wanted my darkness to be my best friend. And I learned how to control my darkness instead of my darkness controlling me.
Wow.
I couldn't tell you how bad I've cursed my darkness out, but I cursed it right out of my body. And I told it that I'm in charge now. You're not. So get out. Get in the back seat. My ego's not driving anymore to that degree that it was controlling me in the darkness. Now I sit in those higher frequencies, and when people come for a session, they never want to leave.
There you go. And it's because it's so peaceful. I wanted to put this picture up one more time. When I was going to psychic training, this was one of the things that really got me. We see it a lot in gifts, you know, and we see it a lot in Facebook and things like that. But I want you guys to realize that this is a reality. You are looking at something that is an absolute reality. When you rub your hands together in a circular motion and you've got your eyes closed, you're also centering yourself. I don't know how many times you've seen people that, you know, do this beforehand almost mindlessly. You know, you've got it in many different arts. You'll see people going, whether you're baking bread or getting ready to go box or something, you know, it's something that we do. Well, there's a reason for that. And if you rub your hands together and you create that heat and you just start pulling away, eventually you'll start you'll start to feel that energy between you. And I guarantee after a little bit, if you had infrared camera or infrared video, you would start to see that energy just like that picture. I can feel it right now. I can feel the pull.
Yeah.
So when you realize also how you give out and how you take in the energy. That's why Pam had you turn both palms, one up and one down. All of these things are tools. The tools, the songs that you guys are mentioning, whether you're dancing, whether it's planting the garden or cooking or playing guitar or whatever that is, like you said, that might be your meditation. It should be different for everybody. But getting your frequency leveled out, whether it's an om, and you're hitting the bell, or you're doing the meditation, it's all frequency, every single thing, crystal bowls, the tuning forks, wind chimes, birds, the wind in the trees, nature sounds, all of that, healing beds. My son was on a bed that somebody thought enough about to put recordings where you could choose, and it was nature sounds, you had classical music, different things. We picked nature sounds. It was whales singing and birds singing and crickets and frogs and all kind of stuff. And I'll tell you, you could watch his heartbeat and you could watch the calm. There's a reason for these things because they work, right, Pam?
Yes, they do.
It's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And the more that you can quiet your mind, the more that your body heals. And another thing, if you look at an atom, it has the positive and the negative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the negative circles around the positive, which is in the center. Every time you're in negative energy, you're in destructive mode on the cells in your body. When you're in positive energy, you're in expansion, you're in healing. Negative energy is destructive in all your cells in your body. So when you want to heal, you want to be in the positive energy. Because
Think
it
about
starts
the plants.
the healing. Absolutely.
The plants showed us they were leaning towards the higher frequency music, actually reaching towards sound and frequency, not the sun. How many times if you put a plant in a window by the kitchen sink or whatever, you have to keep turning it because it keeps bending towards the light, correct?
That's right.
We are trying to bend towards the light. And this was sound, and it did the same thing. So if it's affecting the plants, it's affecting you. Whether it's the news or whether it's traffic or whether it's, people yammering at the office. And we want to get in that still quiet place. Even if you don't talk yourself out of meditation, accept the fact that meditation might be sitting and just taking 3 deep breaths, going in your nose and out your mouth. Some people like to add essential oils to that. Carry a little bottle of lavender oil with you. French lavender oil is the best. There's different kinds. French lavender is definitely the best. I mean, it's so good, and I mean, it's good for pain. You can put it on your wrist, and you can just breathe it in deep and let it out. It's also good for paranormal investigation. Same thing. It's connection. Spirits like it. It's amazing. Some are drawn, so the higher frequency spirits are drawn to these things just like we are, just like sound and everything else. So if you play music and certain things, it can trigger, it can calm a spirit. We've seen it happen. And something you said, Pam, earlier about driving things out of the negativity out of your body. If you're a paranormal investigator or somebody that watches a lot of the shows and reads and studies on the supernatural paranormal, right? It's almost common knowledge that if you go into a bad a place that has a negative energy in it, okay? That you're going to go in there and you're going to fill it with positive energy to expel it. Why would you do the same thing for your body?
Yeah.
Why would it work for that and not your own body? There's your confidence, right?
Right. Well, this past Thanksgiving, I went down to South Carolina, Charleston, and I went into the slavery where they used to hold the slaves for sale. Oh my gosh, the energy. Oh my God. I almost passed out in there. It was so heavy for me. I had to come out and do clearing on myself.
I bet.
It was just so powerful. But there's another energy that's even more powerful, and I know most of you have experienced it. So when you're watching The Voice or you're watching your team get down to the Super Bowl or the Final Four, when you feel that rush of energy that goes through your body and fills your body up when your team wins, when your person is dancing, when they're winning and everything, and they get to stay in the game, that energy that runs through your body, you have connected with the whole of oneness, right? You've connected with the Holy Spirit. That's your connection with that. That energy runs through you. You can have that energy all the time.
There it is.
It fulfills you. It pulls you up into a higher frequency. Figure out how to get there and how to maintain that.
That's
and
it.
how to keep that in your life.
You know which way to go. You know
Yeah.
the frequencies that you're aiming for, and your body, your mind, your soul, and your genetic memory, as well as the memory that's in our subconscious of what it's like to be on the other side of this veil that's thinning rapidly as we speak.
Goodness. Yeah.
Once you realize that, everything starts to snap into place. This just intrigued me here, and I think it's a valid question, a valid statement. AJK said here, lavender is nice, but it can feminize boys. So if you don't like lavender, is there some essential oils that are more manly, like oudwood, sandalwood, cedarwood's good.
Cedarwood is really good for males. But you can mix a little bit of lavender in with, experiment. Find out what your body wants. Ask your body, do you like this? Do you want this? Even with food, you can ask your body, do you want this?
Yep.
Is this good for me? But
choosing gemstones, same thing. They almost choose you.
They
do.
do.
I pick gemstones with my hand.
Yes.
Yeah, and they draw you like from across the room sometime. Old Spice, Glenn, if Old Spice is something that works for you, but it's true. How many times you go around like the altar or wherever the old what we used to call it the old Kretschke's counter, the Kretschke's, but you go around and you're smelling the perfumes and you close your eyes and you breathe. After a couple, they all start smelling alike.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have the coffee beans to cleanse your palate, and you go for the next. And that's just what you have to do. It's how it makes you feel.
That's right.
Patchouli everybody hates patchouli, but the smell, or they associate it with different things. I love it, but it's how it affects your chemical balance, your makeup, and what your body needs then. So you might mix it with a bergamot, or you might mix it with a lavender or something else. Lemongrass or something more crisp and more
Sandalwood.
citrusy. Yeah. So those kind of things, for the same reason you like candles, the same reason you're going to like essential oils. So maybe go to what I would recommend is more of a privately owned, family owned nature's nutrition kind of place, you know what I mean? Where you can go in there and they're not beholden to anybody to push something at you.
Right.
And also because you want to give those businesses as much of your money as you can instead of these big conglomerates that's actually taking your money and using it for negative things. So you're supporting negativity, and I think we are starting to feel that in a lot of ways. So think about where you're putting your money to, like big corporations that are using your hard-earned money for evil deeds and things. That's part, because you're a connection. So be more mindful where you put your time and your support, and that also helps, because it's a connection. You see what I mean? Like a lot of people will say, you ever hear somebody say, I don't want that money because it's dirty money? So if you get it and you bring that in again, you're accepting it. We can't do it with everything, but being more mindful about it to where it maybe instead of donating money, you're not sure where it's going to go, do something nice for somebody, a neighbor, like Pam said in the very beginning of this, because it's going to fulfill them and you, and it's like almost like a double back. In Wiccan, we would call that coming back to you threefold.
Absolutely.
But if you do something negative, what does it come back? Tenfold. There's a reason for the universe has its rules, doesn't it, Pam?
Absolutely. You have to be in alignment with the laws of nature. That's why I pointed out the law of nature about the negative thoughts. Nobody's ever really told us that that's how it works. If you knew that law when you were 10 years old, would you still be playing in that venue? Probably not.
Right.
You could have created a whole different world. But nobody's really told us about this. It's been withheld from us. Now you have control over it. You can do whatever you want. You can choose every time a thought comes into your mind, and you may have to do that. oh no, this is negative, get out. And then I
Yeah.
tell it to get the
Right, and that could be
Get
one
out.
of your tools too, couldn't it, Pam? That could be one of your
Absolutely.
three. So you've got music, you've got either beauty through the eyes, like watching a bird feeder or watching even a YouTube video of a wild bird feeder. If you're in the office, you're having a sandwich or something,
Yeah.
you get away. You can find nature even if it's not natural, but you're still going to get the endorphins.
Ocean
you can
waves.
get out in the sun. Ocean waves. A lot of people have those things they listen to while they sleep, the white noise type things where they'll have that. All of that, from the crickets all the way through. So sound, all your senses, sound, touch, but some people like fuzzy slippers or an old bathrobe or those comfortable pajama pants, the sheets that are really nice. We spoiled ourselves and we got sheets that were a little nicer, or even just the instant gratification of flipping your pillow over and getting the cool side of the pillow on a hot summer night, wind blowing through the wind, through the wind through your window, getting that nice breeze, or put up wind chimes right outside your bedroom window, or a bird feeder. All these are so easy tools that we can do to bring beauty to us instead of, trying to, also wallow in the fear and the negativity, because there's going to be a lot of negative people around. There's going to be a lot of fear coming at you. So maybe to take us out here, do you have a tool of maybe the golden bubble? Have you tried that? Or is there one specific thing you use to go out into public that helps shield?
Well, you can put the bubble of white light or golden light around you, but there's something actually that would be more powerful when, as you start to raise your frequency, you will no longer draw that energy into your equation. That's why it's so important to raise your frequency. And you will no longer be put in situations where these negative people will come in. As you raise your frequency, you will actually attract a different kind of person. You become the magnet and they become the metal. And you're going to attract to you where your frequency is. If you're
So
in
true.
fear, you're going to attract more fear.
Yes.
If you're in love, you're going to attract more love. Right? So if you're in joy, you're going to attract more joy. You have to say, I'll have more of that, please. You wouldn't say, have something bad happen and say, I'll have more of that, please. Unless you really want to. But really,
Two scoops.
it's all about choice. It's all about choice. It really is.
Absolutely.
So-
They're asking where they can find you. Mods, some of you, I sent her email. Do you want them to have your email? Tell us a little bit about what you're doing and Walking in Peace today.
My company name is Walk in Peace Today. Right now I'm working out of my house. We're looking for another space right at
Perfect.
the moment. I'm a spiritual life coach. I'm a healer. I also do tarot cards, and I read tarot cards entirely different. Spirit has shown me a different way to read than other people read. I'm reading about your journey and where you're going, and not about the other people in their life, because they're not doing anything to you. They're doing things for you. So I kind of look at your lesson when I do that. You can find me on Instagram at Walk in Peace Today. You can I have a page on Facebook that's Walk in Peace Today. And you can look me up at Pamela Lach on Facebook as well. So yeah, this was really awesome. Thank you, Cisco, so much.
It's been absolutely amazing and so needed. I'm just making sure I got your link down here. So give me just a second.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm putting it in the chat. There we go.
My biggest thing is people walk out of here and they're coming down out of fight or flight, because a lot of us are in fight or flight. And they leave the house. My sessions are usually pretty long. The longest one's been 8 hours. I don't have you come in for an hour and you're out the door. I'm not sending you out like a therapist would. Oh, your time's up. They just triggered you. You're in the middle of a trigger and they send you out. I am totally conscious about the way that you're going to leave my space, and I want to send you out in peace. Eventually, I'm looking for a bed and breakfast where I can have everybody come in. We'll do group coaching. You'll get your cards read. You'll get a session, and then you can go in the room and sleep. And I've integrated the energy overnight, get up, have a nice breakfast, and then leave in the morning. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Immerse yourself.
Move to Waynesboro, Pennsylvania with me. And I know a really great chef. And
Cool.
and I can wallpaper the place for you. And I'll provide flowers. That's something else. I want everybody
Absolutely.
this week to eat the good cookie. We have a joke about the mom who always eats the broken cookies and gives the kids and the rest of the family the nice cookies that you decorate. I mean, just saying, there's, I'm saying cookies, but you know what I mean. It's everything. It's going with the shoes that pinch because somebody else needs. You need to do something nice for yourself this, this week. If you can get it once a week, great. If you can get it back to once a day, whether it's, having, a nice cookie with a cup of tea that you just have, or reading the book, or, whatever that is, the moments, it matters to do those nice things. If you can go and get yourself flowers once a week, even if it's simple little ostomeria, from the grocery store, that's, $2.99 a bunch. Well, that was yesterday. It's probably $29.99 a bunch tomorrow, but you know what I mean? It's worth it. Or bring in some of the outside flowers inside, 2 or 3 daffodils by a candle, while by your bedside or something. It's the first thing you see in the morning. Anything like that, it's going to make a difference. More beauty now. Damn it.
So have
Damn it.
Have you noticed at the holidays when you bring out your good china and your good crystal, right? Doesn't the meal taste better? Don't you deserve that every day? You work hard to cook or whatever, even if you're bringing food home. Instead of eating it out of the plastic containers, put it on that good china. Yeah. Make it special for yourself. You deserve it.
So nice. So nice. I mean, do it. Because I often wondered that, it's like, I come up in the generation where aunts, you go over the aunts at, the holidays, whatever, and the guest towels. And I wasn't ever sure if I was a guest or if I wasn't a guest, or, it's like a guest, but the good guests, no, don't use that. Just little things like that. We have been conditioned that we're just not worth the fancy stuff. You know what I mean? Right. Or, every once in a while, whether it's the good cigar or, get yourself the whatever it is, the scotch that you really like this week, and have a glass and sit down, put your feet up, get down on the floor and play with the kids or the dog, or, play with the cats. Animals are here. And that's one thing I want to touch before we let Pam go tonight. They love you and they want you back. They don't want it to end. I think with everything going on in the world, Pam, we should do this often. Just reiterate, we can bring in more meditations, more frequencies, and little things along the way that help. But do you do this? I have people all around the world listening tonight. Can you do something in a Zoom
absolutely
way? So, and they would do that through your email and some of the other places that you said, and we'll make sure all of that is in the description so you can get in touch. Okay, I promise. And we'll do this again and get together and just refocus. And I think everybody's going to have to do almost like regrouping.
Right,
spiritual regrouping and go back out into the world again, because we could do this on, a Sunday night, and by Monday afternoon, y'all are going, all right, it wore off, I got to do it again. And that's exactly how it works. It's like sage is a maintenance, it's a maintenance. It's not one and done.
That's right.
The lavender, not one and done. But when you have little things that you can reach in and just make a difference real quick. Okay, I've got that boost to go on, a little further. That's really all we need is the next step, one foot in front of the other, and we're going to pull each other through this, and we're going to keep ourselves on this side of the line, right, Pam?
Right. Yep. Empowerment. We need to empower one another, really, and that's what it's all about. It's it's not about anything other than that. And I do not want to be on the mountain by myself, so I invite all of you to come join me.
Absolutely. Going to see at the summit, baby.
Yes, exactly.
Because I'm telling you what, I've seen this mountain more than once. I mean, maybe in the next show we can get a little, into reincarnation and why we've made the choices we've made, and how it is maybe to look at, why am I going through this all the time? Like we said, the cycles, some of it's bloodline, some of it's, DNA, all of it. It's all, and it's all at the same time. It's not one thing, unless you back off so far and you realize we really are all connected. And every single bit, from the plants to the microorganisms to the stars in the sky to each other, we are connected. So if we gather all this light together, at least You know, every Sunday we do here, every Monday we do here this wonderful chat. And then we take it out. That's why they're gatekeepers, because they're going to take what they learn now and spread it out.
Amen.
It's awesome.
Take the light with you and share it with everyone.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, my
Thank
love.
you so
and I
much.
will see you soon, because she comes in and buys herself flowers. She practices what she preaches. And it's always wonderful, isn't it, sweetie?
It is absolutely, and I love being in there.
One more time, your email again. Just give it to him.
Pamela, Pamela, last name Lach, Lach, @gmail.com.
It's been absolutely wonderful. What a pleasure, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Say goodnight to everybody. And
Good night. Thank you for sharing your energy this evening. It was absolutely beautiful. I feel it coming through right now. I'm getting
It's
the chills
wonderful.
again.
Everybody
the
send
chills?
everybody good
Yes.
energy. Just send it around
Yes.
the world. And just remember, all you need is
Yes.
love, baby. Love keeps you
Amen.
over that line.
Absolutely. God bless.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.